The movie opens with a deadly game. A masked host has kidnapped a young woman and strapped her to a chair. Since she lost the game, her punishment is death. This horrifying event is being live-streamed on the dark web, where twisted viewers treat it as sick entertainment. On a table in front of her are 3 different weapons. The host turns to the live audience and announces, "Whoever sends the highest amount of money gets to choose which weapon I use to kill her, live." Moments later, a woman transfers $500 and demands the girl be executed with a chainsaw. Feeding off the audience's depravity, the host picks up the chainsaw and savagely murders the innocent girl in front of a live audience. At that exact moment, police receive a tip about the live broadcast and race to the location, but by the time they arrive, they only find 2 people. A sweep of the area leads them to a shipping container where a child is discovered locked inside. The rest of the crew, long gone. The story jumps into a flashback. Officer Ben is seen returning home late, tired and drained. Just then, he gets a call. Another live game is in progress, streamed by the same criminal they've been chasing. Ben rushes to the station where the cyber unit is already watching the broadcast on the dark web. On screen is the same masked presenter who has constantly outsmarted them. This time, he's abducted 2 people and is forcing them to play rock, paper, scissors. But it's no child's game. Whoever loses, dies. If they refuse to play, they're shocked with a taser. The girl loses. And this is the same execution we witnessed at the beginning of the film, the one with the chainsaw. Horrified, Ben demands his cyber team trace the live stream source, but the criminal's tech is impenetrable. Every lead ends in a dead end. Every trace goes cold. The host is always 1 step ahead. The scene shifts again. We're introduced to a new character, Katya. On her first day at work, she's courteous, efficient, and polite with customers. Her co-worker, Sophia, stops by to chat. What they don't know is that the presenter is watching Katya's every move. Katya, along with 3 others, is now under his surveillance, likely his next targets. Meanwhile, Ben continues reviewing older broadcasts. In one of the videos, he spots unfamiliar faces. Digging deeper, he discovers they were also kidnapped earlier. It becomes clear the presenter has been abducting people for months and using them as pawns in his demented game. After her shift, Katya gets ready to leave when Sophia asks her to hang out. Katya hesitates. "I wish I could. My son and mom are waiting at home." But Sophia insists, and Katya finally agrees to stay for a quick juice. The moment she leaves, the presenter alerts his crew. In an isolated alley, they ambush her, knock her unconscious, and drag her away. When Katya wakes up, she's shaking with fear. As she starts to scream, a man nearby, "Don't say a word. If you talk, they'll shock you." Terrified, she asks him, "Who are these people? Why are they doing this?" He replies, "I don't know. I was knocked out and brought here too. The first time I spoke, they tased me." The presenter begins uploading videos of the kidnappings to his dark web channel. Ben sees the footage and loses it. He orders his team to dig into each victim's background, where they worked, when they were taken, but leads are still scarce, so Ben takes a risky step. He visits a convicted hacker he once arrested in a previous dark web case. This guy knows that world inside and out. Ben shows him the video footage and victim profiles, hoping for any insight, but the inmate just shakes his head. "You're dealing with a legend down there. This guy's the kingpin. No one knows who he is, and even if you did, he's built in fail-safes, firewalls on top of firewalls. He's untraceable." Frustrated, Ben returns to HQ, only to find out 2 more people have been taken. The sadistic host is escalating. Innocent people are dying, and the cops still have nothing. A new live show begins. This time, Katya and other victims are lined up. On the table in front of them is a revolver. The host announces, "Today's game is Russian roulette. 1 bullet, 6 players. Whoever fate chooses, dies." The game begins. Each player is forced to put the revolver to their head and pull the trigger. Katya's chamber is empty. She's safe for now, but the next contestant isn't so lucky. The bullet hits. He collapses instantly. Another pulls the trigger, and a flag pops out instead of a bullet. But he's told he's still lost. One by one, contestants die, based on random chance and audience bidding. One viewer wires in $500 and demands a particular man be killed. Since it's the highest donation, her wish is granted. The man is poisoned. His organs rupture from within. He dies in unbearable agony. The next morning, news outlets explode with headlines. Dark web game show claims more victims. Still, the authorities have no leads. The case is transferred to the FBI. The presenter, watching everything, smiles. Meanwhile, Katya and another captive, Sasha, begin planning an escape. They realize if they don't act now, they'll be next. They agree to overpower the next person who enters the room, take their weapon, and run. But their whispering is caught. The presenter summons Katya, and, "You know communication is strictly banned. You broke the rules, but you won't be punished. Your friend will." Maybe next time you'll think twice before getting clever. The next live show begins. Sasha is dragged into the arena and whipped publicly. Her screams echo, but the audience loves it. The stream goes viral. Still, the FBI can't track the captive's location. Ben returns to the prisoner and demands, "What does this guy want?" The prisoner answers,
"He wants nothing. Darkly, he enjoys pain. He thinks it'll make him famous. He wants everyone to become like him, soulless and addicted to cruelty." Later, the FBI holds a press conference, admitting failure but promising justice. The presenter watches the broadcast from his hideout, amused. Back at home, Ben gets unexpected news. His wife is pregnant, but instead of celebrating, he reacts coldly. His mind is elsewhere. His obsession with the case has distanced him from his family. His wife can feel it. The presenter goes live again. He shows pictures of 4 new victims and declares, menacing, "These 4? I'm coming for them tomorrow." It's a direct challenge to law enforcement. The police scramble. All 4 targets are placed under surveillance. At the station, Ben is swarmed by reporters. When the presenter sees Ben in the news footage, he pauses, surprised. Why is this one cop so obsessed? That's when the truth comes out. Ben's mother and sister were once kidnapped and brutally murdered. He couldn't save them. Now, guilt consumes him, and he's willing to go to any lengths to make sure no one else suffers the way he did. It's now revealed that the host had already kidnapped the 4 individuals he previously warned about. Among them was a young girl who happened to be a fan of the show. She believed that the producers would never harm her, but the host looked her in the eye and said, coldly, "You're in the game now. That means you're not a fan anymore. You're a target. What happened to the others will happen to you too." He then turns toward the camera and announces to his dark web audience, dramatically, "Tonight's game is called the Torch Game. Contestants must hit each other with a ball. If you get hit, you're out. And by out, I mean dead." The game kicks off. Chaos breaks out as contestants start hurling balls at one another. One by one, players fall. Then, the little girl finds herself face to face with an elderly man. But instead of throwing the ball, the old man lets it drop to the ground. Calmly, "I surrender," he says. Firmly, "I won't hurt a child." The host smirks and responds coldly, smirking, "This game doesn't follow your rules." But the old man discreetly picks up a piece of wire and tucks it into his shoe. Days pass without a single new episode. Then suddenly, a new broadcast airs. And this time, law enforcement agencies and the FBI across the country are watching. The host knows Ben is tuned in, and he deliberately calls him out by name, provoking him, taunting him. Addressing the viewers and the authorities, he says that an old man violated the game's rules during the last episode. Now, both he and another contestant will pay the price. But there's one way to save a life. Addressing the viewers and the authorities, he says that an old man violated the game's rules during the last episode. Now, both he and another contestant will pay the price. But there's one way to save a life, if Ben chooses who lives and who dies. Everyone urges Ben not to choose. But the host warns, if Ben stays silent, both will die. Under pressure, Ben finally presses button number 2, hoping to save at least one of them. Instantly, the girl associated with that number is shot dead on live broadcast. The police track the signal to what they believe is the show's broadcast location, but when they arrive, they realize it was a setup. The host looks directly into the camera and laughs. "Gotcha, you've all been chasing shadows. I gave you the wrong coordinates." Meanwhile, the old man is overwhelmed with guilt. Unable to cope with the girl's death, he takes the wire hidden in his shoe and ends his life. News of his suicide spreads. The atmosphere turns somber. Ben is shattered, blaming himself for the girl's death. He wants out. He wants justice. The next morning, as Ben leaves for work, he finds a package waiting at his gate. Instantly, he knows it's from the host. The game isn't over. Elsewhere, the host confronts Katya.
Today's the day you die, he tells her. Say goodbye to your little lion if you want. Katia freezes. Little lion is what she used to call her son. But how could the host know that? She had only ever shared that with a colleague. The host drags her onto the live show and asks, "Who's on your mind right now?" Katia answers, shaken, "My son and my co-worker." The mention sparks a memory in Ben. Katia had only visited the office once. Her reference to her co-worker might be a clue. Ben rushes to meet Sophia, Katia's colleague. At first, Sophia is tight-lipped, but eventually she hands Ben a note. Her own son has been kidnapped. The host is watching them through hidden cameras. Everything she did to Katia was under duress. Ben asks her, "Where was your son when you went to rescue him?" Sophia gives him a location. It hits Ben instantly. That must be where the show is actually being filmed. He contacts the police and heads there without delay. Back at the compound, a new game begins. This time, the contestants are given guns. But instead of turning on each other, they turn on the guards. Gunfire erupts. 2 contestants are killed, but others, Katia among them, make a run for it. Katia escapes with her friend Sasha, but a guard grabs Sasha. Katia turns to help, but Sasha pleads, "Go, tell the police where we are." As Katia runs, she suddenly comes face to face with Ben. Seeing her panicked, Ben assures her backup is on the way, and everything will be okay. Ben hides Katia and ventures deeper into the facility. He reaches the control room, and there, the host is waiting. "If you've got the guts," the host sneers, "then pull the trigger." Ben doesn't hesitate. He fires. But when he removes the mask, he's horrified. It's a young girl. The real host had already escaped. The entire thing was staged and streamed live. The audience bursts into mocking laughter. Ben has been publicly humiliated. The police arrive and rescue Katia, but no one else is found. Outside, a car waits. The host gets in, and sitting in the driver's seat is Sophia. She was in on it the whole time. His wife, his partner in crime. It had all been part of their twisted plan to trap Ben. In the post-credits scene, the host appears once more, smiling, confident, as he announces, "Season 2 is coming." The audience cheers, but for the authorities, it's just the beginning of a brand new nightmare.